Good afternoon. I pray that your weekend was filled with spaces and places of joy, of peace, of happiness, that you saw something that made you smile, something that maybe made you laugh out loud, something that maybe just tickled you to no end. When was the last time you were just tickled to no end? I would invite you today to be very intentional about paying attention and finding something that makes you laugh so hard that tears just run down your face and your stomach may even start hurting because it's just that good to you. Oh, that feels so good. And unfortunately, those experiences come few and far between if you have a history of being traumatized or if you're just over all of this COVID stuff. But that's why I invite you to be intentional about paying attention. We're continuing and wrapping up looking at the signs of what could constitute a toxic relationship. I think we'll have a couple of more days before we work on how do you fix it if it's fixable. And so today we're going to talk about lost relationships. You stop spending time with friends and family either to avoid conflict with your partner or to get around having to explain what's happening in your relationship. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. Things between you and your partner or your spouse or your children or your whoever, it's gotten so stressful that the idea of being out around other people where you all may have to fake like you all like each other or fake that things are going well, it's gotten to be just too much. So you avoid situations and you particularly do not look forward to, I can take these off now, you don't look forward to major family holidays like Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter where the whole clan comes together, and if you were missing, it would really be noticed. But your fear is that if you and your partner, your children, whoever showed up, that people would be saying, what's going on with them? I wonder what's going on, particularly if your partner, your spouse are very disrespectful or sarcastic in their communications with you. It also can be painful if you are now, when you're in these group gatherings, you're witnessing your partner or your spouse be very nice and loving and kind to everybody else. And you're wondering, well, how come I don't get that same treatment? How come they're able to talk with them? How come they're able to laugh with them? How come they're able to accept joking comments from them? But if I say them, all hell is going to break loose. And so you begin to make your world smaller and smaller. You stop having people over to visit because you don't want them to witness the icy atmosphere of your home. You even stop maybe talking to your friends, the people who know you really well, because they can kind of tell when something's going on with you. They can kind of tell when things are not quite right, and it's just becoming too much work to try to put on that happy face, to try to act like everything's going on, or you're spending so much time complaining about your relationships. Your fear is that your friends are going to say, you know what, I don't even want to talk to her. I don't even want to talk to him because it's going to be the same old litany over and over and over again. And even they're getting tired of hearing you complain and you're getting tired of hearing yourself complain, but there's no forward movement. So one of the signs of a possible toxic relationship is lost relationships or a very limited number of relationships that do not involve you and that toxic person in your life. And then the next one I'm going to do too today is lack of self-care. Whatever you had been doing to take care of yourself, long bubble baths, maybe meditating, maybe taking walks in the park, maybe working out, you've kind of stopped doing that. You've kind of stopped paying attention to taking care of you, maybe getting your nails and feet done, maybe making sure that your hair is done, not for somebody else, but simply because it makes you feel good. Even going clothes shopping. Because one of the things that can happen when you're in a toxic relationship, you begin to possibly eat out of comfort. The comfort that you want from these persons who are toxic in your life, you're trying to fill that void with food. And so now you've gained a little extra weight and your clothes are no longer fitting the way they should. But you are so consumed with just trying to maintain your sanity that you're neglecting your wardrobe. You're neglecting you. You know, you're not paying attention to what you need. And maybe as you're not paying attention to what you need, maybe it's because you're paying so much attention to the toxic person in your life. They are literally sucking the life out of you. Their needs are become much more paramount than your needs, and you get left on the back burner. And so those two things are signs that your relationship is possibly toxic. Loss of relationships, you're no longer hanging with your friends, you're no longer talking to family or meeting with them because you don't want them to know that something's going on, or because your partner just tries to keep you away from them. Your partner or your spouse may talk very negatively about your family. You all may be invited to something and you may go there, you know, on time for whatever, and they always come very, very late. You know, that's another sign because they don't even want to ride in the car with you. You know, they have their own agenda. And so this feels embarrassing to you, you know, to have that your partner or whoever always show up late, always sitting in the corner sulking, not participating in the conversation. And so you just decide, I rather than do that, I'll just stay home so people cannot see. So there's not a witness to what I'm experiencing. And again, I just want to reinforce there's the other side where your toxic person treats everybody else much better than they treat you. They interact much more with the other person. They are laughing. They're showing all their good sides to everyone else while you so desperately would love to be the one who's being showered with that level of attention. But be not dismayed. There is hope. Be not dismayed. There are some things you can do to try to improve what may possibly be a toxic relation, to try to put some balance into it, to try to make it a healthy relationship. And I think we have 2 more days of looking at signs, and we will then begin to look at the recovery, healing, and restoration, because that really is a choice. If you have toxic people in your life and they're making your life miserable, or you finding yourself being stressed out, you're finding yourself really struggling to just to keep it together, hold on, help is coming. But I need to tell you that sometimes when we're looking for help, sometimes when we want help, sometimes when we want our situations to change, we have to be willing to do whatever it takes. Sometimes we have to be willing to walk through the fear, to walk through the what ifs. We have to have a goal in mind. If the goal is to have a healthy, loving relationship, then I would invite you to consider, is this a step that you're ready to take? Is this something that you are open to considering? The benefits are well worth it. Trust me, I know the benefits are well worth it. You only have one life. And you're not going to have a life where there's not challenges. But for real, the good times really should outweigh the bad. And so we're going to talk about that. I pray that you enjoy the rest of your day, find some opportunities to laugh out loud, and just love up on yourself on purpose. Love you. Bye-bye.